Okay, Abdel, we're live. We can just start jumping right into this thing. Right before we do that, I just want to introduce you to the audience, everybody watching. For those of you who are unfamiliar, do you want to just sort of tell them a little bit about yourself, what your name is, where they can find you, what you do?
Awesome. So my name is Abdul Shafik. I'm the founder and director of Xanavit. We're a modern lead generation company that specializes in helping marketing agency acquire 15 to 20 sales opportunities a month. And we don't just stop at that. We also help them with the sales side to make sure that they're closing at least 20% of the leads that we're bringing to them to make sure that the ROI is really there. In terms of where you guys can find me, you can find me on my YouTube channel, Abdul Shafik, if you search that up. And also on LinkedIn, I'm pretty active on there and love posting about results, tips and tricks about cold email to acquire more clients via that. And yeah, more to me.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds good. So you mentioned that you help marketing agencies get more clients through cold email.
Mhm.
I guess just out of curiosity, like what made you get into that?
Well, beforehand, like I'm sure everyone starts this journey. They get into SMMA, they find out how what social media marketing is, media buying, Facebook ads, and all of that sort of stuff. So I already had some sort of industry jargon in that industry, understand like somewhat of understanding paid ads, SEO, all of that good stuff. So it only made sense to go into it versus like another industry which I know nothing about, like medical devices or cybersecurity, for example.
Hmm.
So it was just a logical decision. I know more about this, therefore let me go into this and further develop my knowledge in this industry.
Okay. Yeah, and I mean, that's pretty much exactly how we ended up getting into this, right? Like there wasn't really any cool story of why we got into lead gen. It's just everybody wants leads, so like the logical thing to do is to go and sell leads. So that totally makes sense. You and I are here in the same boat. I mean, that's a big part of the reason why we wanted to make Lead Academy, right? Like we saw kind of like the struggles that there are with running an agency. Like I'm sure you've had a lot of the same struggles where like like mindset related things. You don't really know what to do. Like something happens in like the cold email world. Like Smart Lead has an update. Everybody starts freaking out. These are old things that like when you're on your own, like they become kind of rough, right? Like oh, like
Mm-hmm.
Outlook changes their thing, and then all these people start freaking out, like canceling thousands of accounts and everything when it's not even that bad, or like there's a new update or something. So, I mean, reasons like that are kind of why we ended up transitioning and trying to make a program that wasn't necessarily coaching, but it was more for lead generation agency people.
Yep.
So, I know exactly what you mean. You and I are kind of in the same position here, but I guess what I want to hear is how did you hear about Lead Academy? Because I remember you were one of our oldest members. So
Mm.
how did you end up hearing about Lead Academy?
So, first of all, the videos that you put out on YouTube are very valuable from a Legion agency owner's perspective, specifically the list building side of things, how to write actual good copy, and all of that good stuff. It's not necessarily I didn't know any of the stuff already, but it's a good refresh and like somewhat of a different perspective, though. So I was like, okay, well, this is the free content. Let me take a look what the paid content's like.
Okay.
And it's not very expensive at all, the Leeds Academy. So I thought nothing to lose. Let me join in and see. And obviously the value
Hmm.
is there, is immeasurable from the content that you guys put out to the community, which is I love because it's very active and it's very supportive when you want feedback on your copy, on what to do with specific clients, whether it's closing or just perhaps stuff that's going on in the industry, such as the recent deliverability crisis we all went through. That was the community was very helpful for that. But also, which is I would say very exclusive to Leeds Academy that other communities don't have, and I've been through a gazillion of them, is that the scrapers that you guys have, whether it's now I'm not going to name the companies that you guys specifically help us out with if they watch this, but is extremely helpful, especially if you're trying to build lists where Apollo isn't very good at
Hmm.
in building them for you. Ecom, for example, and I'm sure we all know a big database for ecom, and also the other agency platforms that typically agencies and other vendors list themselves on for when looking to
Hmm.
clients. Begins with C, ends with Sh. So, so it's very helpful. Not so content, feedback, the community, and the scrapers for you to build your own lists. Phenomenal,
Hmm.
honestly.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really glad you enjoy all these things. Like a big thing about Lead Academy, which I feel like is one of the reasons why it's so helpful to people, is that the fact that we're actually agency owners ourselves. So it's not like I ran a lead generation agency like a year ago and I remember how it used to be. Like I run a lead generation agency today and we have clients today. And I know, I mean, there aren't really many competitors to Lead Academy. Like there aren't really many coaching programs that are specifically for this market. But for the
Hmm.
ones that are, I feel like most of them are being ran by people who used to be agency owners, right? And again, I understand the idea of, hey, like your agency grew to this amount and then, you kind of just stopped the agency, focus on info. It's obviously the more scalable business model, but I feel like when you do that, you kind of take away from like the everyday aspect of it and then you're not able to really know what's going on, right? Like I know that you can benefit from these scrapers because before Lead Academy, we were using them ourselves, right? Like I know that people can benefit from these things because we use them ourselves. Every time that we get like a new tool developed for Lead Academy, it's not for Lead Academy. It's for us as an agency, but then we just allow Lead Academy users to also have access to it,
Sure.
right? So I feel like that's probably a big reason why people actually get value from these tools. We're not just thinking that this is useful. Like we use this ourselves. We needed it. We had the demand. We fulfilled this. We fulfilled the demand by going and getting this tool done. So I feel like that's a big part about where Lead Academy excels. But I guess for you, what was like the main selling point? I know you mentioned like you saw the content, but what was the main selling point? Was it the tools? Was it the community? Was it the videos? Like what made you specifically want to join
Community and tools. The tools,
community and tools?
and I would put the tools above the community actually. And I'll tell you what, even let's take a look at it from math wise. If I wanted the same list that for my client, if I would have to spend like 200 USD to acquire for whatever subscription it is to the database,
Mm-hmm.
I can get the same list and arguably infinity more times if I just pay the $49 a month or the $100 a month to just Leads Academy. Plus, I get community. Plus, I get content. Plus, I get
Mm-hmm.
support if needed be. Plus, I get coaching calls. Plus, I get all of this sort of stuff. So, if we were to take a look at it from value and price point of view, well, Leads Academy wins any fucking day. It's just a bit obvious.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's exactly how we're building in. Again, right now, a lot of people don't know about this, but we're actually revamping Lead Academy like almost completely. We're about to add another really big scraper, which I will not say the name of because I'm not trying to get sued by that company. But another really big scraper. We're about to add like a bunch of other utilities. Like one of the things we're planning on adding. Again, this is something that you would understand as an agency owner, but other people wouldn't understand an Apollo query generator. So you know how sometimes you have like a list of like 100,000 websites,
Yep.
and like Apollo only lets you put like 6K at a time in, and then you have
Yep.
to sit there and like manually put it in. We're about to
Yep.
make it so you can just put a list in, get a bunch of Apollo queries back, and it's like this again. This is one of those things that someone who's not in the agency world they wouldn't know that this is a problem. You know, but when your client is telling you, "Hey, I want to go after fucking Klaviyo users," and there's like 200,000 Klaviyo users on Built With, right? Like you're sitting there like a bot, typing it in. Like you make a mistake, your query gets messed up, you start over. Like it's a it's a pain in the ass. So that's gonna be another utility that's being added. Plus, we're about to rework the whole course. Talk about how you can create better offers. Like, and I feel like the Lead Academy offer is a testament to what we're about to show because like the Lead Academy offer, like it monetarily makes sense. Like you said, like one of the utilities that we provide, the scraper that does, e-commerce leads, we'll call it, that platform's like $300 a month. So why pay $300 a month when you can pay $99 a month for the same data, right? Like it's being scraped on demand. This is not
Yep.
like a reservoir of data. It's on
Yep.
demand scraping on top of all of the other platforms that come with it. So, I'm really excited to make this program, even though like a lot of people I feel like aren't in Lead Academy for the curriculum. I love making those videos because it's like you said, it's like reinforcing like what I know, and I think that's one of the best parts about like making one of these programs. But I'm glad you are enjoying all of those utilities. Like we put in so much effort into all those utilities, so you know that's that's great to hear. So just out of curiosity then, I guess since you've been using and I've seen you in logs, by the way, like using those tools, like you request like 100 lists, so I've seen you use them. I'm guessing like the main deliverable or the main quantifiable result that you've gotten from Lead Academy is, I guess, just better lead lists. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, absolutely better lead lists. But on that, because I got better lead lists, I got better campaign results, more calls from my clients, and better reputation for my agency. So it's all, I guess you can say it's a domino effect. Like, for example, one of the campaigns I was running before Leeds Academy was specifically to ecom as well, which is, you should definitely join if you're targeting ecom. I would say the average, I would say the campaign stat was like 3% and around 25% positive reply rate. So it was a decent campaign. It wasn't too bad. After joining Leeds Academy, utilizing the scrapers that you guys have, building a super targeted list, I got a 4.5% reply rate with a 66.7% positive reply rate. Now,
Yeah.
for non-lead gen agency owners watching this, what this means is that two-thirds out of all responses that came in were positive.
Wow. And on top of that, you got 1.5 times better reply rates in the first place. So it'll compounds 1.5 times better replies. And then on top of that, also 66% of those replies are positive. And I'm guessing you do pay per call in your agency, right?
Yeah, for some clients we do pay per call. For some clients we like to do a flat retainer. Otherwise, we put them out of business from how much we're charging them. But yeah, sure.
Okay. Yeah, I mean that's good to hear. So I mean every single call or really every single positive reply is one step closer to a call. So that is like your KPI to hit to get, cash in the bank. So I mean that's good to hear. I know a lot of people say like replies aren't cash, but I feel like if you're a lead gen agency owner, they're pretty much almost cash like because I mean the reply is literally
Yeah,
one step closer to booking a call.
especially if you set as one calling them, continuously following up with them, practically harassing them, and then yeah, it's one step closer to money in the bank.
Of course. Yeah, and I mean, this is off topic. This is not really like Lead Academy related, but I'm just curious. What are you guys doing right now in order to book prospects in? Because I've heard a lot of people talk about either sending over a Calendly, but then there's the problem with links. Some people book the prospect in manually. What are you guys kind of doing for that?
I have an entire video about this on my YouTube channel. Um, 5 golden rules. Time to lead, 5 to 10 minutes. Make sure that you always respond to the lead's question and never avoid their question, even if it's about pricing. But on the flip side of that, you never give pricing over email. You instead just give a range. Hey, George, typically our pricing starts from just 1K a month, can be upwards of 6. Really depends on what you're looking for, depends on factor X, factor Y, factor Z, whatever the hell. You never give Calendly links unless you've been going back and forth with that lead, like, and you just can't decide on a time.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the only time it makes sense to actually give a Calendly link, or if you're dealing with an assistant of the decision maker that you are trying to book into a call with you or your client. That's and I think that there's something else as well which I cannot remember. But yeah, we always give calendar times 99% of the time, unless it's in the two exceptions which I talked about, talking to an assistant, or you've been back and forth via an email and no one can settle on a time.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. And then what do you, if you're comfortable sharing, what's your infrastructure look like right now? Because I know Outlook has had a big problem. I know that right now we're on Google inboxes from a reseller. What are you guys doing?
No resellers, so we're shifting away from resellers as much as possible. 50% Google, 50% Outlook. These browser profiles, domains from Pokemon or Cloudflare, obviously SPF, DKIM, DMARC, all of that good stuff. One domain per admin account, and yeah,
Okay. Yeah, one domain per admin account. You guys are playing it safe then.
yeah, man. It was when June happened. It was a. I mean, we had the call then, but
Mm-hmm.
it was not a nice time, and I thought swore a vow to myself, never doing this again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. And then I'm guessing, are you guys doing like the thing where you like have like different IPs and everything per account or per
Yeah,
admin account? Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, that's probably one of the safest ways to do it. We actually considered doing that before, but then we ended up partnering with the reseller for Lead Academy, right? And we ended up just using them ourselves, and we haven't had any issues so far. But I mean, if that ever changes, then we'll definitely consider taking one of those models on. But I'm just guessing you guys just have like a bunch of SOPs, and then you have like a team internally setting up accounts.
yep. I just fill out a
Yeah,
Google sheet, give them the payment card, and they go away with it.
yeah, that is honestly probably just gonna be the better way to do it, no matter what. Like honestly, like that's
Sure.
probably gonna be the best way to do it.
Yeah, it's expensive, but we get the clients to pay for their own expenses. So the IPs, email accounts, all of that sort of stuff. So we're not carrying like thousands upon thousands of just in
Hmm.
email account costs each month, and we
Yeah.
just Whatever we charge them, we get charged for it, and essentially we make our money off the calls or the retainer.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's actually another thing. And I know we're running a little bit over this interview, but I a lot of people have not been charging clients for their own email costs, like just from Lead Academy, because there's a lot of people in Lead Academy who run agencies, and this is one of the most popular questions that we get, which is like, how do you guys manage like email account costs? And like, I just don't understand when people ask that, because like ever since like the start of our agency, we've always made the client just cover their own infrastructure costs. And believe it or not, like a lot of people just aren't doing that. Like they're just covering that out of pocket, which makes like no sense, because you're
Think
coming in as an agency to manage infrastructure. So why are you paying for infrastructure?
and build it. Think about it this way: if you're a paid ads agency, would you be spending? Would you be putting down your own money for your clients' ad spend?
You wouldn't.
No.
And this is another one of those things which is so crazy. A lot of people talk about like how expensive $7.20 per cold email is. Go try to work with a paid ads agency. They're gonna hit you with a minimum $3,000 a month in ad
Mhm,
spend budget, on top of the fact that you're gonna have to pay them, and on top of the fact that you're gonna have to pay a retainer.
mhm.
Like $300, $400 a month for email accounts doesn't sound so bad when the alternative is 3,000 a month for ads, and even then you don't have a guarantee, and your targeting is not even as good. So
Yeah,
it's crazy.
it is crazy, and but then again, it comes back to the type of client that you're speaking to. If you're speaking to a client with like one employee and the company just made like 5 grand a month, and you tell them this costs, they're gonna scream at you. But if you speak to a business owner that has 25 employees and has been in business for over 10 years, he's not gonna like really care. Can you deliver this result? Yes, I can. Here are case studies. Cool, paid.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
there's
that's a big part about it. Just working
the
with the
caliber
right
of people
people.
you're speaking to. It's the caliber of people, which is why which is why we never we stopped targeting 1 to 10 employee companies because these monetary
Okay,
issues that you face with them.
you guys only do over 10 employees now?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's interesting. We do 1 to 25 right now, but that actually might be something that we consider, just kind of canceling out those smaller companies, cuz I tweeted about this the other day. I was following up with a prospect the other day, and I got on a call with him. He's been ghosting me for like a week, and I asked him like, "Hey, like we had the conversation about code email. Do you, is this something you want to explore?" And he literally told me that outreach has no aura. And I was just like, "What in the world are you saying to me right now?" And that lead was just dead. And then I checked this company after. It was one of those like video production agencies with like 2 employees, like, and I'm like, of course.
Yeah, no, no, no. The types of conversations, the type of objections that you'd get from someone with less than 10 employees versus above is day and night difference, bro. Day
Yeah.
and night difference. And even if we, I'm giving source here, and I shouldn't be doing this, but if you want to take a look at the concerns, what's the concern of, let's say, a marketing agency on with above 10 employees versus one with less than 10? The one that typically has between 10 to 25 employees is looking for more. So it already has fire. He's just looking to add fuel to it, and he sees us as
Mhm.
the fuel. The one with like 2 or 3 employees is typically just like he's looking for someone to outsource his success to, which is not happening.
Of
And
course.
on a commission basis with no pay per lead and nothing up front. I'm sure you get those.
Yeah. Oh my god, the amount of people we get about, and not even just for us, but for our clients. Like we have a lot of clients that service like brick and mortar type of businesses, and the amount of times that we get like an HVAC guy or like a solar guy saying, "Yeah, like you get me like a $15,000 job, I'll pay you like $500."
No, no,
Like,
no. Or like it's like if you get me 5 jobs, then I'll consider speaking to you. It's like fucking hell, okay.
yeah, man, it's sorry about that. I have a cough right now, but I know exactly what you mean. I mean, we're at the point where we don't do inbox management ourselves, like in the agency. We have a person doing that. But sometimes I overlook like the replies that we're getting.
Mhm.
And some of these people are truly delusional. Like they are not real business owners. Like they think that someone is really gonna just come into their business, bring the clients, close them themselves. Like it's ridiculous. Even in our agency, like sometimes we have prospects that they'll be on a sales call with us, and they'll be like, "Wait, I have to pay for leads that don't close?" And we're like, "Yeah, welcome to the real world, buddy. Like,
Handling
so,
sales. Do you pay your
you know,
marketing team on commission as well?
like, no, it's crazy. And some of these people really think that you're gonna come into their business, you're gonna put up the capital to do lead flow or to go do marketing. You're gonna bring in the lead flow. You're gonna speak to the lead flow, and you're gonna close the clients. Like, if you want that, I'm expecting like 50% of your business, not a couple $100 per call, but I want 50% equity in the company at that point. Because you're literally just outsourcing half the company. Like, that's not happening. So
Yeah. And the funny thing is, most of the time they'll not want to put a guarantee in place. Most of the time, they don't even charge commission themselves for their own
yeah,
clients. And it's like, you motherfucker don't even charge the same way you want us to charge you. It's like, what?
exactly. Yeah, and it's funny because if you think about it, most marketing agencies are lead gen agencies. If you think about it, like a Facebook ads agency is a lead gen agency. They're just doing, through a different mechanism, right? Like if you think about it, everything is really a lead gen agency except like creative companies. And a lot of the
Mhm.
time, these people are telling you like, hey, like no, like we only do commission. But like, do you only do commission for clients? Like, why don't you run Facebook ads commission for me? I'll pay you only if you get me calls. Put up your own capital and run Facebook ads for me. So, it's ridiculous. And then there's the other half of the people, which I don't know if you've seen this, but I've seen this a lot more recently, where they're just like, well, why can't I just run my own cold email?
It's
Well,
like,
why can't
sure,
people just run their own Facebook
into
ads?
it.
It's like these people ask these questions like they're like astonishing because they're not like I would never see a real business owner asking these questions, but I guess that's just like part of the equation, part of the outreach. You're gonna get 100 no's before you get one yes. So you know, I guess it's just part of the game.
Yeah. Game's the game, man. Here's what it is. What we signed up for.
Of course, man. Well, anyways, Abdel, I mean, we're reaching about the end here with the interview. It was a pleasure speaking with you. When I post this, I'll tag you everywhere so you can get mentioned there. And yeah, if anybody wants to reach out, do you want to just give like a quick little message, real quick, about where people can find you?
You can find me on LinkedIn. You search up Abdul Shafik, or you search up Zanover. You'll see my company and also myself, the gazillion case studies I have. You should definitely book a call, by the way. And if you search up Abdul Shafiq on YouTube, you'll also find the videos I put out there, which is essentially our entire playbook of how to generate sales opportunities via cold email, from offer creation to copy to actually the inbox management side of things. You find it on there.
Okay, perfect, Abdel. Thanks, man.
Take care.